Today. So what's up, guys? Now, why was there a need for God to introduce Jesus immediately after Adam and Eve fell? I mean, that was so fast. That was too fast. Now, as always, bigger, biggest. Now, what's the big today? Big today is, why were the elements used to form or make Adam not taken from the Garden of Eden? Bigger. What is the real meaning of Genesis chapter 3 verse 15 in details? And the biggest is, why was there a need for God to at least showcase Jesus is coming as early as he did? Now let's begin with the big. Why didn't God take the elements used to form or make Adam in the Garden of Eden? Now, in Genesis chapter 3 verse 22 or 23, should be around there, God, after Adam and Eve fell, God said, I chase you to go back to where I took you from. And of course, in 19 it says that from dust you came and dust you will return. But remember, it is not the dust in the Garden of Eden. Now, let me explain the paradox of this to whoever doesn't understand. The Garden of Eden had soil because there are trees there. Because venye aliumba Adam alimwambia, you can eat from any tree that you will, just not the middle one. Of course, for trees to survive, there has to be soil. Okay? So the elements used to form Adam were not taken from this garden. They were taken out there, from the outer earth. Now, why did God do that? Mbona alichukua huko soil? Mbona asichukue hapa ndani? And this is the reason. God understands the end from the beginning. And Isaiah chapter 46, I think, should be around verse 10 or 12. It says that God understands the end from the beginning. And we said this from, it stands for process. The process meaning God understands what happens from minute 1, minute 2, all the way to minute 10. Okay? And we said, in a parallel way of what we've been thinking that God works, this is how God actually works. God understands that there is a path that you might follow and be a doctor. But there is also a path that you might follow and be a patient needing a doctor. Alright? Now, in this case, it's not that it's hidden that God understands what would have happened if Adam obeyed. He had the two manuscripts. Manuscript 1, if Adam obeys, he will remain perpetually with me in this garden. If he disobeys, I know where he has to go. And remember, this is what we said about our God. God is so magnificent that he has the two manuscripts, but still gives you the power to choose. Now, there are three things that God has given to man, which I also believe he gave to Lucifer. One of it is a guiding consciousness. Guiding consciousness is where the moral compass lies. Now, if you go to someone who gospel has never reached to, now muulize kama stealing is bad, they will outright tell you that it's bad, because that's where the moral compass lies. You know, the 10 commandments that he gave to Moses, even if you've never read them, killing is bad, committing adultery is bad, kuiba bibi wenyewe, hiyo si kitu kidogo. So if you ask anyone mwenye hajawahi fikiwa na gospel, he will tell you outright that that is bad. 2, God has given man the power of choices. This is where the decisions come from. Now, there is something that I need to mention here. A man is as good as the decisions he forgoes. And I will repeat that. A man is as good as the decisions he forgoes. And to a man cheating, a man is also as faithful as the options available to him. The decisions you forgo are so many compared to the one decision that you take. The number 3 thing that God gave to man is the willpower. Now, who has ever encountered someone mwenye umejaribu kumpatia advice lakini asikii until learn by themselves? Now, that is called the willpower. If you have decided to do something, you will do it. You will certainly do it. Now, God has a tendency of keeping them that he loves in a Garden of Eden. But you being there, or you sustainably being there, is dependent on these 3 things that God gave you, because God will never deter you from making a decision that is yours to make. God will never deter you from going after your willpower. God will never deter your guiding consciousness. Now, as we mentioned, we are not the first to be in the Garden of Eden. and Garden of Eden means paradise. And in a similar manner that God keeps the one that he loves in a paradise, in the same way, he also does not like anyone who disobeys him to stay there. Now, Lucifer disobeys because he was in a paradise. It's mentioned in Ezekiel chapter 28 verse 13. After he disobeyed, he had to leave. And one advantage with Lucifer, he had two places he could go. So, one, ange remain with the magnificence of God. If God forgave him, of course, angebaki huko, of course, dwelling with other angels. But in a case where he disobeyed, hawezi endelea kukaa kwa paradise. You need to go. And for him, alienda kwa the second heaven. Now, imagine God took soil from the Garden of Eden and then we disobey. Where would we have gone? Do you know, hatukuwa na options mingi. We only had that option. Do you know that? It is only the option of the Garden of Eden. Now, the number one reason why he took elements from this earth or from the outer world is because he needed to give us legality in a case where we disobeyed, because he understands the end from the beginning. Now, get that part very right. If these people become patients, I need to have a place ready for them. But in a case where they become doctors, they will remain here, but wakikuwa patients na sijawapatia legality ya kwenda huko, then what? Do you know where we would have gone? We would have gone to the second heaven. Second heaven is where the devil is. Of course, we would have been there coexisting with the devil, who is an enemy to God, and now God is creating the second enemy. Now, remember, this second enemy bears the image of God. Now, God, in this case, if we would have gone there, he looks like a confused God, but he's not. So, number one reason why he needed to take elements used to form Adam and Eve from the outer world is because he needed to safeguard a place for these people in a case where they became patients. So, if you become a patient, go to where I took you from. Now, Adam are going to a place they've never been before. God, of course, forms them with the elements belonging there. But remember, the Bible inasema after amemaliza kuwa form, aliwa placed kwa Garden of Eden. So they've never been there. They've never spent a day to the outer world. But regardless, because mmekuwa patients, you have to go and learn how that place looks like. Park your basi hapo. Pause. Okay? Now, the bigger question, what is the exact meaning of Genesis chapter 3 verse 15? Now, that is where God introduces Jesus. Genesis chapter 3 verse 15, it says, I will put an enmity between you and the woman. I will put an enmity between her seeds and your seed. He shall bruise your head and you shall bruise his heel. Now, to study to hiyo verse line by line. Line 1, I will put an enmity between you and the woman. That is very literal. No woman likes snakes. Okay? Even men snakes. Mutashika tu. Hakuna. Line 2, I will put an enmity between her seed and your seed. Now, when we say that we are fighting the powers, principalities and powers, what is that? That is the seed of the serpent. And who are fighting them? It is us. The seed of Eve. Okay? Of course, being given the power and the mandate to do it, because hiyo power hatukuwa nayo before. But then again, he singles out one seed and he says, this seed shall bruise your head, and you, not your seed, in this case not your seed, but you will bruise his heel. Now, who does he speak about in this case? Now, before I enter into the head part, let's speak about this heel. This heel is the crucifixion of Jesus, of course, the tribulation that he had to undergo, and the sufferings and the carrying of the cross. That was Satan bruising the heel of Jesus. Of course, Jesus came to his own, and his own did not accept him. That is Satan bruising his heel, because Paul later comes and says that we have a hardening of the heart. That hardening of the heart is Satan bruising the heel of Jesus. Kwa sababu itakuwaje mimi nimekam kwa kufia na nyinyi mnikubali? Manzi najaribu kuambia ni mimi, it is me that you are told, it is me that was prophesied, but you still can't get it. Now that was Satan bruising the heel of Jesus. Now the head, bruising the head, now hiyo ina advance, inaingia kwa the biggest question. Why was there a need for God to introduce Jesus so fast? His seed bruising the head, that is found in Exodus chapter 21 verse 33 to 34, and it says, if a man dug a pit and failed to cover that pit, and another man's animal came and fell into it, in this case of course it was the ox, you are to take the full responsibility of that fallen animal. And how are you going to take full responsibility of it? By paying. You are supposed to pay this guy, and then you took the dead beast. You are supposed to take ownership of the dead beast. Now let me explain something that is so technical, and I need all of us to get it. God ametupatia mwili fulani yenye inatupatia legality ya coexist in this earth. And I said that kwa sababu Genesis amesema from dust you came, to dust you go back. So that is an element belonging here, which we have to live here. But then again, he also gave us a spirit drawn from him, which bears his image and his name. And that is what keeps us afloat here. But we can't live here na hiyo spirit. Tutaacha hii mwili hapa and then we go with the spirit. But then again, there is something that Adam does yenye inamuintroduce the evil and the good. And why God was safeguarding the tree of life was because hakuwa anataka tukule alafu tuishi in sin, in a sinful state. But why is that? That is to mean that these bodies are too weak to uphold the good without necessarily knowing how to maneuver the evil. Now that is to mean in a nutshell that God is like God dug a pit and somehow did not cover it. Okay, I'm not saying that he's a failed God. He's not. And I need you to get this in the most humble way that you can get it. It's like God dug a pit and we fell into it and we became dead beasts. Now these dead beasts, they are not so much able to uphold good without really welcoming the evil in them. And this evil is what makes Cain kill na afil kitu. In fact, God anakuja na muuliza, where is your brother? And he has the guts ya kumwambia, yo, I'm not my brother's keeper. Now that is Cain trying to uphold good without knowing that evil iko ndani. Jesus had to come and pay this guy and tell the enemy, you know what? Give me my dead beast. I know these people died. I know there is a spirit that I had injected in them, but that spirit died. So are they able to uphold the good and not know how to navigate the evil? Give me my dead beast. Is the grace not too sufficient to them? I know. Give me my dead beast. Are these people not able to follow my commands? I know. Give me my dead beast. Are these people not able to do it the way that the Father made them to do? I know. Still, give me my dead beast. And you know, this was too hard for Jesus because he had to pay with his blood. In this case, hakuwa analipa na do, alilipa na damu. And this was the only way that he could do it. And you know, it is in the same breath that God says in 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 18, it cost God plenty, ilimgharimu zaidi, to take us from that wretched life that we grew up in. Because we grew up in so much wretched life, by the way, of trying to navigate the evil and the good, na saa ingine evil ina take over design hatujui. Because for instance kama pride wanasemaga is only an outer person who can see their pride. You yourself can't see it. So how is it then that you are trying to be humble, but then again kuna pride iko ndani, mtu mwingine inabidi aione wewe uione? So that means that there is a dead beast. Of course, God dug a pit. We kind of fell into the pit and we died there, because in as much as he gave us this legality ilikuwa na shortcomings zake. na shortcomings ni ati it belongs here. Now belonging to a place means that you are of that place, and us being in the world means that there is a part of us that inclines us to live like the world lives, and the world is corrupted. Remember, Satan came and corrupted it at first, so we are entering into a corrupted earth. Na hii kitu corrupted, hakuna venye sisi tutakuja tuka incorruptible, we will be corrupted as well. And that is why Yesu alikam na akasema kuna laws mtaweza kufuata, but nitafanya grace yangu iko very sufficient to you. So kuna mali ilifika kambia, ni kama alikuwa anakuja anasema, I know these people died, I know they are dead, but still let me pay it and leave me with my dead beast. You just give me my dead beast, just give me that. And that is why God needed to introduce Jesus immediately after Adam fell, because this was not their place that they were supposed to be in. But either way, they found themselves here. So of course God akona repercussion ya how to undo it. Na ndio maana akatuma Yesu. So you mwenye mnashinda mkisikia I am the way, the truth and the life, na muna question. Now that is the real meaning of the way, the truth and the life. And that is the truth. Goodbye guys.